that was where I thought I would begin, and then I was supposed to wait and see what came out.
Well, have you had an experience like that?
Yeah.
And so why do you keep practicing then?
Because I forget. I don't live that way all the time. Maybe more than I used to. But I think like the different parts of yourself are at war. And then the more you practice, the more you the ones that you don't want to listen to, that you shut away, you kind of invite them for tea, and it's not so scary, listen to what they have to say. Like, sort of like they turn from a monster into like a frightened old lady or something. Some of them. It's not so scary anymore. So you start to make peace with the different parts of yourself and include the different parts of yourself instead of shutting some away. And I think that's when I think of being whole, it's like that. It's like welcoming all those, maybe the demons that are just kind of in the periphery of your vision, and you don't want to deal with them. You say, "Come here, sit down. What do you want to tell me? What's the deal, man?" And you listen, and then you're more whole. Yeah. So I was thinking about telling you guys the story of how I got my name, but I was not born as Isabella. And that's something I hardly ever tell people. Have I ever told you? That's my partner, Richard. He's wonderful.
You definitely told me.
I've told you that story. That's my son. He's wonderful too. So I was born Adrienne Richter, and I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I guess I'll go about this. So I was in my early 20s or my mid-20s, and I didn't want my name anymore because I was going through all this processing and releasing of stuff, and I wanted to sort of symbolize letting go of the old me and being reborn, sort of as recreating myself or something like that, or just letting go of all the old stuff. So I wanted a new name, but I couldn't think of one that felt like me. And I never liked Adrienne because everyone always said Adrienne or Adrienne or Adriana or whatever. It was never Adrienne. It was like 1 in 100 people got it right. And plus I was supposed to be a boy, and so it was supposed to be Adrienne, and we changed it to Adrienne. And then it had to be an A because it was R-A-R-A-R up to there, so it wasn't really a name about me at all. It was about fitting into the pattern of my family, which I was trying to break out of. So I went to this sort of retreat. It was with 10 women. No, it was with a bunch of women in the woods for 8 days. And there were 2 leaders, and we did like every cathartic exercise a leader had ever done in her whole life, and that was 8 days. So we did a high road course, and we did psychodrama, we did a bunch of other stuff. And a couple women I knew had gone to this, and I really respected them, and I just decided to go at the last minute. So the last night we did was supposed to be a vision quest. We went out in the woods and spent the night in the woods. This was in Massachusetts. And some of the women who'd done the retreat before sat by the fire, kept the fire burning all night, and hit a drum all night. It sounded like a heartbeat. So I was hoping for some big that night, and I felt like nothing happened. But the one thing that was kind of cool was, like, I had this image of the baby, like the inner child, but the inner baby. And I didn't know how to take care of her and also I could be free and do things, because it was like took all my energy just to keep holding her, basically. So I had this image of like having arms here with her and then having wings, and then, so I could do both. I could like jump off the cliff and fly and hold her at the same time. So that was my big vision quest image. And I had to go that far. And then in the morning, we had chocolate chip cookies warm from the oven in the morning, and we sat around the fire, and the leader walked around. She asked, first the co-leader, she led us in this guided meditation. She said, imagine going into the ground in a tunnel. It's dark, and you walk and you walk and you walk for hours and hours, and then you see a little pinprick of light in the distance, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then finally after another hour or something, you come to an opening in the cave. There's fire burning, and your 4 grandmothers are waiting for you there, and they call you by your true name. So they said, Bodhisattva. And I I said, in my mind, I said, I don't want that name, please give me another one.
Because you had no idea.
I didn't know, I just knew I didn't want that name. And I'd never even heard it before, which is interesting. So they said, okay, how about Queen Isabella of the Stars? And I said, okay, I'll take that one.
That's awesome.
So we come out of the meditation, and the leader goes around, she asks each of us our new name, and I said, Queen Isabella of the Stars. That was where that name came from. Yeah. So then I changed it into, did I forget a part? And so I changed it into French, because I could have just changed my first name, that was the idea, but it also came as a whole, so I didn't want to leave out the stars part out. Yes? Okay, yeah, and then my family had a hard time understanding.
How old were you when that happened?
25 or so. And then I found out later what a bodhisattva is. You guys know this, but I have no idea when that name was given to me. I just know I didn't want it. And then to me, so bodhisattva is a person who's reached complete enlightenment and chooses to leave that blissful state to come back to the world and help everyone else get there. But it's who I am. Like it or not.
What were you saying about the star part? That you didn't want to leave that out?
Yeah, so I just put it in French.
Oh, okay.
Because I've always had a connection with French things. Like I went to, yeah, because Days of the Stars in French. I went to France earlier in my 20s, and I felt like I was home. It was home. And I had someone a psychic person tell me recently I lived like dozens of lifetimes there, hundreds of lifetimes or something.
Did you say you changed your last name? I'm sorry.
I did. Yeah.
What was it? And that was the first thing.
That was the
Did you
Days
change it?
of
What did you say again?
Days of the Stars. But I kept my middle name, or I kept my last name, and I was actually Adrienne Karabrock Richter, because Karabrock is my mother's maiden name, so I kept those Karabrock Richter on my middle names. Because I didn't want to dishonor my grandmother.
It's sort of a tradition kind of thing.
Yes, and Sam is now Sam Daisy. Sam Richter Daisy.
So do you often have the meditation where you're holding a baby and flying?
No.
Do you keep that with you?
No, I mean, I gave them
Yeah.
I made we had him paint a shirt. They gave us like blank white shirt, or plain white shirt to paint, and I painted on there. There's like a woman, or a baby nursing with head being held, and then the arms look like eagle feathers, or they're supposed to, and then the back has a tree with leaves falling for like letting go.
You still have that?
Yeah, I do. I had it hung up downstairs. That's another thing that's interesting. I have this cave in my house. It's like my space downstairs. It's pretty big, but it's just my space. You know, I think a lot of married or people who live together, domestic partners, just have a room that's both of theirs, but I needed my own place. I just knew I needed my own place. Even if I hardly ever go there, I have to know I can. And so it had these little tiny windows that were like that big. And we Richard put in big windows. And my one friend keeps telling me how symbolic that is. I'm like letting light into my cave. She said, it's just so symbolic. I see so much in that. So that's kind of, I think, connected to feeling strong enough or something enough to sit here. I went to Richard's Quaker meeting with him last Sunday, and the Quakers are just so cool. They sit in a circle, full circle, not a half circle, and there's no preacher or minister. They just sit in chairs, and they're all like moving around, crossing their legs. They don't hold still, but they sit quietly, and then if somebody feels called to speak, the voice of truth or God or whatever, they would stand up and speak. They say 2 sentences or more, and then they sit back down. Everybody kind of just lets that settle. And then maybe that's it, or maybe another person talks 5 minutes later, or maybe nobody talks the whole time. That's beautiful. So I was there with Richard and this one woman last Sunday, and this one woman stood up and she talked about her mother dying and the grieving process. And it's very, I was just, the tears were just pouring down my face after she talked. And I thought of all these things I wanted to say, but I couldn't bring myself to stand up and say them. 'Cause I don't know why. I don't know why. But then I thought, oh, I can say them here at Anna's house. Anna's place.
Oh, our group, yeah.
Our place is more like where I feel comfortable speaking in that way. Maybe someday I'll do it there. But. So it's funny how that's when I decided I wanted to do this, when I wasn't here. I've thought about it for a long time, like someday, but I felt quite ready.
That's how I get a lot too. I get so shy, like coming back here, I'm like, even driving here on the way, I'm like, hey, it's a new group, I've never been, and I'm like, what am I going to say, or what if they ask me questions and I don't know what to answer, and then I get so stuck, and then I imagine my throat closing up and not being able to like open up and do that. And it's funny how that happens, and it's like actually just starting to say it and just realizing like, okay, my words, they're mine, and it's okay if I sound stupid, but at the same time I freeze and it doesn't come out. Like even right now I'm like freezing, but I relate so much to you because like there's so many times that I've wanted to like say something so positive about somebody and say, oh, you inspired me in this way, or you made me feel this way, and then the moment passes and I realized one day I got a smack in the head that was like, it happened actually just the other day. Sometimes I don't think my words or myself is important enough, and finally I like took off my hat. I don't have hair, and I took off my hat and I was dancing, and I was just finally like being with just myself, imagining that the world was not around me. And as I was about to leave, someone came up to me and they said, you don't realize this, but you actually changed someone's life today. And I'm like, what? Someone, my friend has cancer and he didn't have the energy to get up and dance. And he saw you dancing. He's like, I don't know if you have cancer or what, but he danced. And he's like, and you did something really good. And so the importance of you and your words, like you make a difference in my life. And that's what's so great is like every single person is so important. It's my opinion. And that's where it's like, Sky, use your words and use that, and it's important. And just confirming that.
It's so inspiring. It's beautiful. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? Help. And then, you know, every now and that would kind of come and go, and then I would go down. It's going to be okay. And then, oh, it's going to be okay. And one of the times when it was like, it's going to be okay, it's like, everyone is so beautiful and so perfect as you are, and you don't have to change it. You're perfect. You know? There's no, with all your flaws, quote unquote, and all your mistakes and all your, what you see as not good enough is perfect. We're all perfect. Perfect! For me. All of you. Maybe that's all I have. Thank you. Go ahead.
I have a couple of things. One is, I was supposed to be a boy too.
Really?
So I thought that was a girl. But the other thing that you talked about was your refuge and that you don't go there maybe a lot. But Edward Abbey and Desert Solitaire, the one quote I really loved was, everyone needs a refuge whether they go there or not. And that brought that up for me.
Yeah. Knowing it's there is so, it's so reassuring. It's comforting. And Richard is so respectful of it. He just has never been threatened by anything like that. Even if I sleep down there for like 2 weeks, which hasn't happened in a long time, he's like, he knows I'll come back. No pressure.
That's neat.
What a guy. And I come back when I'm ready.
I hope you'll play some music for us again sometime.
Oh, sure.
You're a
I'd love
wonderful
to.
musician.
Thank you. I'd love to. You know, I think I had a sort of a nightmare about this last night, except I had my violin with me. And I was like, I have to put the violin down, but I don't want to. Because I've been on stage with the violin like hundreds, I would say hundreds of times. Not as a solo person like here, but still. So not to have that, it's like, even in the dream, I'm like, no, I don't want to put it down.